Afternoon, everybody. Now, with all we've discussed regarding the Civil War, let's bring up a question that was quite poignant in the spring of 1861. Now, hostility broke out with the firing on the Union Fort at Fort Sumter in April of 1861, and the South, many of the states were seceding. And the Northern troops, there was really no question on where their loyalty lied, but the Southern officers and the Southern troops in the United States Army, they were faced with a very difficult position, or situation. Okay, do they side with their national government, or do they side with home? Now, up until this point, it was still a little bit vague on where your loyalty should lie on these matters, because most people in those days, going all the way back to the times of the Revolution, they stated where their homes were in terms of their home state, their home colonies. You know, Robert E. Lee said there was always a higher loyalty to Virginia and things like that. And, you know, go back even far back as the Revolutionary times. You would ask George Washington where he was from. He wouldn't say he was an American, United States. He would have said Virginia. John Adams, Massachusetts. Benjamin Franklin, Pennsylvania. And Alexander Hamilton, thanks to the Broadway show, everyone knows where he's from now. He's from New York. So that's where the question was, does the loyalty lie to your home community or to the federal government? That's what was faced by so many of the officers and soldiers from the South who made up the bulk of the American Army in 1861. They had to face it. You know, Robert E. Lee was torn up until the last possible moment of whether or not he would stick with his career of being with the United States Army or go to offer his services to his home state. And at the same time, there were other Virginians who went the other direction. Admiral Farragut, who was over the United States Navy at the time, he chose to stay true to his vow to stay in the United States Navy, and he wound up leading Union forces onto victory in New Orleans and helped secure the Mississippi River area, and he also helped to carry out the Anaconda Plan, which bottled all Confederate ports. He did that at the expense of losing all of his love and respect in his home state. George Thomas, another example, he was a Virginian. He chose to stay in the United States Army, and he went on to great success in the Army of the Cumberland, and going on from there, he was a very good general. But at the same time, he lost the love of his family and his community, and to where his own family actually turned his picture to the wall because they viewed him as a traitor. So these are some of the things to think about. Where was the loyalty lie at that point? It wasn't until after the war it became cut and dry, where the United States were loyal to that country. So up until that point, it was still questionable of whether or not your loyalty lied to home or lied with the bigger government. So those are something to think about on that.